Hello and welcome to Let's Enter the Arena. I'm your host, VM Campos, and this is the podcast where I talk with a member of the Magic the Gathering community, where we focus on Magic Arena. This week I've got a return guest. He hasn't been on in a little while. Let's welcome back EdViBe.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Glad to be back.
Glad to have you back. So, yes, well, thank you for being on the show. Would you like to promote anything, any website streams or anything like that?
Not really. I guess my Twitch is twitch.tv/EdVibe can't sleep, because some of us can't sleep. It is all one word, just straight through EdViBe, can't sleep.
And I think that fits just because there's just too many great games to play.
Yeah.
So one of the games at the moment to enjoy, of course, is Magic Arena, and we've got a new set that's been out for a little while, and then a new set that's coming out soon that might not make it to Arena, but we'll get to that. So War of the Spark has been out for a little while. What do you think in general about that set?
You know, at first seeing all the Planeswalkers, I was like, this is gonna be not a whole lot of fun. But the more I played, I was like, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, oftentimes a Planeswalker really just stops everything and you've got to deal with it, and it has overpowered effects and everything, but this time with uncommon Planeswalkers, there's a whole new paradigm. Is there one Planeswalker yourself that you're enjoying so far?
I was given, I got the email to play or whatever, but then I've been playing, but I got Obnixilis, however you say that,
yeah,
for free, and then I've been using them. Really good card. Just it fits my playstyle to just wear people down and slowly. Just anytime they draw a card, they take damage. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, I saw a guy play Sorin the other day, and I really want that card now, but I haven't been lucky enough to get him.
Mm-hmm. What about any wild cards maybe to pull one?
Hopefully. We'll see how it goes, because I don't know. I just thought that card was super cool. I'm a fan of Sorin. I think that's what it is. Just lore-wise and everything, I think Sorin is my favorite character.
Mm-hmm. 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 So another Planeswalker that I'm also liking, sort of in the vein, maybe you like him as well, Davriel, Rogue Shadow Mage. This is the one that it's mono black, and his -1 is target player discards a card.
Oh, that is pretty good.
He only starts with 3 loyalty, so you can only do it 3 times, and this is one of the ones that it has an odd number of loyalty counters, and then it has an odd number minus ability, so yeah, you're gonna use him up compared to Obnixilis.
Yeah, but I feel that he actually is pretty useful. But you might need to protect him a little more, but he's pretty useful because he's more of a danger. It's gonna be way more obvious that he's hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then the static ability, this one is at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep. If that player has 1 or fewer cards, it deals 2 damage to them. So there's more pinging going on from this Planeswalker, so definitely you want to protect them a little bit more. You don't just want to summon them and start milling cards from their hand.
Yeah.
You want to have something to protect. What do you think in general about all of these new walkers having these passive abilities?
I like it. I like the change in having passive abilities. Most of them are really good. Just having them out there is really good.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other War of the Spark cards that are standing out to you at the moment?
So the Command the Dreadhorde.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know what that card is. It's pretty high mana cost. It's 4 colors and 2 swamp, but it's choose any number of target creature and or planeswalker cards in the graveyard. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them into the battlefield under your control.
It's like a mass steal.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and that's a lot of damage. I feel like if you run a lot of creatures, this is like a real late game, end game sort of thing to play, because you'll definitely have the mana and if you just run your creatures right, if you're willing to make that sacrifice, at least go for the trades, you're definitely going to cause some damage there.
Another War of the Spark card that I like is Dreadhorde Invasion. It looks like we've all got a theme here. We've got black cards and related to these zombies, huh?
Yeah. This is a biased podcast of us being black players.
Yeah. Well, it's the funnest and most evil color. When you get into it, this card, the Dreadhorde Invasion, it's gonna damage you every turn, but it's building an army. It's building one of these little zombies. Well, once you've got that zombie as a 6/6, then it gains lifelink, and all of that investment that you did to get it up to that point, it comes back to you. But first, there's that little bit of pain at the beginning, and then there's the payoff.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. I think people really are too protective with their life, and they don't use it as a resource.
So, besides War of the Spark, which we can currently play on Arena, there's also Modern Horizons, which we can't quite currently play on Arena. We'll see how it goes. But any general thoughts on Modern Horizons?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like to speculate. I want to be able to, try it out. I want to be able to use it. So, looking at cards is cool, but playing them out and testing them is really the only way for me to get a feel for it. I feel like that's how it is when people see things. They're like, oh, that's a cool combo. That's a cool combo. But yeah, let's see it work practically.
I'm looking at all the cards and watching a few videos here and there, people talking about the cards, and I'm interested in trying out some of these cards. I first played Magic back in the 90s, so Ice Age and Alliances were some of my favorite sets. One for nostalgia, one more for little power. So one card that I'm kind of looking at it that's kind of fun and weird is Chiller Pillar. This is a blue card for 4 mana in total. It's a 3/3, and it's a little, snowy caterpillar. It's a snow creature insect. So what's cool about it then, if you pay some amount of mana, it's got Monstrosity too. So it'll become a 5/5. And it becomes a flyer. So you start off with a little caterpillar, you feed it more mana, it becomes a 5/5 and a flyer, just like in real life.
Yeah, that's pretty good. There was this thing called Titan Forge. It's an artifact that I think it cost 4 or something to play, and every turn you would get a counter, but after 3 counters you would get a 9/9 Titan, colorless Titan on the field. And it would just scare people, because not everyone carries anti-artifact stuff, so having that as just a distraction was really useful to me, because if I could pull it off and get a 9/9 Titan every 3 turns, I'd have a Titan.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes people maybe focus a little bit too much on a creature or a planeswalker, but these other permanents, like an artifact, that it'll eventually go off, that's something to keep an eye on.
Elixir of Life, super good card. You could it costs 1 mana, you can just leave it out there until you need it, get 5 life, shuffle it back into your deck with the rest of your graveyard.
Oh, yeah, I pulled that up. Elixir of Immortality.
That's it, Elixir of Immortality.
You gain 5 life and shuffle it back in. Okay, yeah, that's nice. That's like a better version of, what was that really old card that I used to play with? Felden's Cane. That one was also an artifact. You would reshuffle your library, your graveyard back into your library, but this one's a little better because you also get that life, plus you get the immortality back into your deck.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so I had that card. I pulled it out of a pack, and we played I started getting everyone to start playing Magic again. I remember Angie, but everybody was so upset about that card because a bunch of them had, discard from my library or discard from my hand things, and just I would luckily enough pull it in my first or second hand, right? And I would just put it on the field, and they would forget about it because it does nothing until I activate it.
Yeah.
And then eventually, they started seeing how good it was, and they would try to avoid me putting that out on the field.
Yeah.
Actually, to the point, it was so annoying that they all bought elixirs themselves. Because I think Angie has two. I think Paul and John also bought some. It's a really good card.
Yeah, so that's like, people talk about metagames and all of that. In your metagame, in your local group, that was meta warping, format warping, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So, any final thoughts on Magic as a whole?
I'm actually really interested. Did you hear about the Netflix show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious. I just want to see what it's going to be like. I have my doubts, obviously, because it's when it comes to like games and stuff, there's not really good media out there for it. But I'm willing to give it a chance. I hope it's good.
Yeah, same here. There's always been talk, 20 or 25 years about a Magic movie, and it's never come to fruition. It's just too complex. Like, how are you going to, I guess, portray the mechanics, and what characters are you using, what plot are you doing, etc. Well, here, if it's going to be some sort of like little bit of a longer form series, it might work out because it has more time to play. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. We don't want to be too pessimistic, but these game properties never quite work out from transferring from media to media, but we'll see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few, but you know what? I'm still going to give it a chance out of just curiosity. I hope they have a decent budget for effects, because, it's Magic the Gathering. It's got to look fantastic. I mean, I hope so.
If they're able to kind of use the budget and the look that they did for the War of the Spark trailer, the one that everyone loved with Liliana in slow motion and all of that, if they were able to do that sort of style, I think people would be very happy.
Yeah, I think so. I just want it to be decent. Not like, I don't want it to look like sci-fi cheesy, you know what I mean? But I want to see some solid effects. Because like it was like a 2.5D thing they used for the trailer, because that's how they've been showing off all their animations. Yeah, was like they took the cards that they have, and they put like some sort of animation to it. Yeah.
Did you catch the other announcement about Red Bull partnering up with Magic to do some tournament stuff?
I didn't see that, but I know Red Bull is super about alternate sports, so yeah. If it was going to be anybody, it'd be them.
Yeah, and that had a trailer with animation that was completely different. It wasn't anything like trying to be like photorealistic. You should look that up when you can, the Red Bull Magic announcement, because that animation is completely stylized and completely cartoony, just very different than what you might be used to. But for the moment, I think Magic is in a good place. And I think it'll be continuing to move forward and get more players and keep exploring new game concepts and worlds, and I think it'll be better for it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Arena did a really good job of pulling people in who would have never otherwise given it a chance, because it's just simple, it's easy, it's right there, and it's got a pretty good tutorial to teach you how to understand Magic. Yeah, so it's definitely, I feel like it did positively impact the player base a lot.
Well, as we wind down, would you like to tell the listeners anywhere they can check you out again?
All right, Twitter. I think I'm also on there as EdViBe Can't Sleep, so both Twitch and Twitter, EdViBe Can't Sleep. I'll be around, play all sorts of games, not just card games. Me and my friends are gonna stream our D&D sessions, so
cool.
Look out for that. That's gonna be coming up.
As for myself, I'm on Twitter as well, twitter.com/vmcampos. I've got vmcampos.com, which I should update a little bit more often. I'm on YouTube. I stream every Saturday, 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. at gaming.youtube.com/vmcamposjr. Don't forget the JR part at the end. And I consolidate all my stuff on Patreon. You can get a lot of free stuff on Patreon. Just follow on Patreon to keep up to date. Or if you go to the $1 tier, you get access to some exclusive stuff. If you go to the $2 tier, I'll actually mail you some vintage Magic cards from back in the day. No, not a Black Lotus. or just follow and see what I'm doing up on Patreon there. So once again, EdViBe, thank you so much for visiting the podcast.
All right, thank you for having me.
This has been VM Campos, and I'll see you in the arena.